Andrew Cuomo back in the news. He is now facing an accusation from a sixth accuser about groping. And this groping charge may actually turn into criminal charges. This is being referred over to the Albany Police Department. This comes over from the nypost.com, doing good reporting on this topic. It says the Albany Police Department has been formally notified about the allegation that Governor Andrew Cuomo groped a female staffer in an incident that may amount to a crime, a source familiar with the matter said today. Cops have not launched an official probe, but, quote, have reached out to the victim's attorney and offered up any other police assistance, a police spokesman said. At this time, there's been no formal criminal complaint. There is no active criminal investigation, they said. And so my first question here, which I didn't see in the article, is how long ago this occurred. Maybe it is in the article. Before I opine, let's finish the article. It says here, Cuomo's acting counsel, Beth Garvey, acknowledged in a statement that state officials had referred the matter for possible criminal investigation. As a matter of state policy, when allegations of physical contact are made, the agency informs the complainant that they should contact their local police department. If they decline, the agency has an obligation to reach out themselves, inform the department of the allegation. In the case that the person is represented by counsel, and when counsel confirmed the client did not want to make a report, the state notified the police department and gave them the attorney's information. In a statement, New York State Police also said it reached out to the Albany Police yesterday to facilitate a contact with the executive chamber regarding the alleged incident. And so my first thought on this was about the length of time that takes place here. Anytime you have one of these sexual assault allegations or, one of these groping types of cases, one of the first questions that I have is how long ago did this happen, right? And why did this take so long to report? Why wasn't this immediately reported to the authorities? Is this a buyer's remorse thing? Is this a dogpile thing? Is this a vendetta? Is somebody being vindictive? There are a lot of reasons why people manufacture claims later on down the line, and especially when it involves high-profile, high-power individuals. We've seen this story many times before. The floodgates open, accuser after accuser after accuser. Okay, so there are some rules around this. And one of the key concepts here is what's called the statute of limitations, which means you got to bring your case soon. You can't just file it 25 years later because evidence dissipates, and the ability to bring remedy, the ability to redress your complaint sort of disappears the longer the time goes on. And so in Arizona, for example, let's say that you are charged with a misdemeanor for criminal trespass or something like that, and you are arrested for it, but they decide not to prosecute you or press charges. And so the charges are sort of floating around a little bit, and a year goes by. They can no longer bring those charges against you anymore. They're gone. They lost the opportunity to do that because they waited a year. Our statute of limitations for misdemeanor crimes is 1 year. Bring the charges within 1 year. If you're in an altercation with your spouse, let's say I'm dating a woman, she punches me in the nose, I get over it that night, I wake up 6 months later and I want to file a report, I can do that. But if I wake up 1 year and 1 day later, I can't do that. The statute of limitations has expired. Now, for felonies, it's 7 years, which is a much, much longer term, and this can be very problematic. For sexual assault cases, virtually no statute of limitations on that at all. And so it depends on how they're going to charge this. Is this an assault where he is groping somebody? If so, is it a short statute of limitations? And does that expire? Or did this expire because she didn't bring the claim soon enough? Or are they going to charge this as a sexual assault type of a crime that basically has no statute of limitations? And again, I don't live or work or practice law in New York, but I'm going to guess it's largely the same framework for these types of cases. So that's my first question. Why now? Why is this coming up now? How long ago did you bring this charge? Let's go back to the article from the Post. It's unclear at this point whether the accusation against Cuomo is something that rises to the level of a crime or assault, a source familiar with the matter said. Albany County District Attorney declined to comment. So that's the prosecutor's office. But a source there said Cuomo couldn't be prosecuted unless the accuser cooperates with the authorities. Reports have come from a direct victim. They have to come from a direct victim and be filed with a law enforcement agency, whether that be the DA's office or the police agency. So Garvey, Cuomo's lawyer, held a conference call Thursday with members of the staff, Cuomo staff, during which she gave them multiple options for reporting complaints about harassment, a source who listened in told the Post. So she's telling people, yeah, if you got a problem, go file it. Garvey said a worker could talk to her, a supervisor, or a private lawyer. The incident was referred to the police, allegedly took place late last year in the executive mansion in Albany, and the Albany Times reported on Wednesday. So it looks like it would be within the year. So even if it is an assault charge, they could even bring that, probably. Again, I don't know what the statute of limitations there is in New York. A person familiar with the woman's account told the paper that she said Cuomo put her hands under her blouse and groped her. So that would probably elevate it to a higher level sex crime. Right? Typically when the nipple's involved, that's off limits. No good. The female staffer who hasn't been identified beyond being a much younger person than Cuomo, was reportedly summoned to the 60-year-old governor's official residence to fix a problem with his cell phone. Oh, don't you hate that? Don't you hate when you have a problem with your cell phone and you got to call some underage staffer into your residence to come help you with that? Man, it's a huge problem. Poor Cuomo. The conduct, here he is. That conduct, called forcible touching, is a misdemeanor with a maximum sentence of 1 year in jail. The groping allegation is the most serious to emerge in the wave of accusations that followed last month's publication of an online essay in which former Cuomo aide Lindsey Boylan detailed what she described as a pattern of sexual harassment by Cuomo, including kissing her on the lips in the office in 2018. So see, that's old, right? So if that would be assault, that's probably too old to charge. Cuomo's office has never made any comments since the governor, who has repeatedly said, quote, never touched anyone inappropriately, issued a statement on Wednesday night denying the allegations in the Times Union report. As I said yesterday, I have never done anything like this. The details of this report are gut-wrenching, Cuomo said. I am not going to speak to the specifics of this or any other allegation given the ongoing review. That's good legal advice, but I am confident in the result of the Attorney General's report. He pledged to cooperate with the probe and urged New Yorkers to withhold their judgment pending its findings. So we'll see if New Yorkers end up doing that. I'm going to guess that they do, actually. I think that most people there still think that he is the savior, the COVID savior. So we'll see what happens. But a lot of individuals who are part of the government are saying he's got to resign. 55 New York Democrats call on him to resign for the scandals. More than 55 state legislators called for Cuomo to resign. Assembly Speaker said that he would hold a meeting on the event later in the day on, quote, on potential paths forward. The statement from Cuomo's fellow Democrats cited both the spiraling sexual assault harassment allegations against him and the cover-up of the nursing home death toll, and said that he has lost confidence of the public and the state legislature. They say, we have a lieutenant governor who can step in and lead for the remainder of the term, and this is what's best for New Yorkers at this critical time. It is time for Governor Cuomo to resign. Speaker Assembly Carl Hesty said, quote, in light of the allegations concerning the governor over the last several weeks, I will be meeting with members in conference today on the potential paths forward. Cuomo has faced mounting calls to resign or face impeachment as the twin scandals have intensified amid a seemingly endless parade of new revelations and allegations. And I'd be curious what other New Yorkers there think about it. We're going to hear from DeBlasio here in a minute, but let's finish this article. It says, under the New York Constitution, impeaching Cuomo would require a simple majority vote of the 150-member state assembly, which is composed of 106 Democrats, 43 Republicans, and 1 independent. And so currently we have, it looks like 55 total. I'm wondering how many of those are Republicans, probably almost all of them. Let's take a look. What did that say? 55 Democrats. Okay, so think about that. So those numbers are pretty high then. So if we got 55 Democrats plus, let's say, 43 Republicans, if they all vote to impeach, that's the majority, isn't it? Yeah, that would be the majority. A resolution to impeach Cuomo was introduced earlier this week by Republican members, with Minority Leader Will Barclay saying, quote, we believe the time has come to oust the 3-term governor. Whoa, so this is actually heating up. I didn't think anything was going to happen to Cuomo, but looks like there's enough momentum there to do it, including from Mayor DeBlasio, which also nobody likes anyways. So New York is just sort of purging itself, it sounds like. Here is DeBlasio.
The latest report and the fact that we can talk about how many people are bringing forward accusations, that it's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 3, it's not 4, it's not 5, it's 6 women who have come forward. It's deeply troubling, the specific allegation that the governor called an employee of his, someone who he had power over, called them to a private place, and then sexually assaulted her, is absolutely unacceptable. It is disgusting to me. And he can no longer serve as governor. It's as simple as that.
All right, so we'll see what happens with him. We'll see if there's criminal charges surrounding that. Certainly would want to know what her side of the story is, what the police report shows, what the details are surrounding that. But he's still in hot water, and he's going to be for a long time. So that's it for Andrew Cuomo.